The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on Tom's Radio Toronto are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of Tom's Radio Toronto or its staff. These broadcasts are presented and made public as entertainment and general information only, in the hope that they will be entertaining and informative to listeners. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or mitigate in any way any disease or condition, or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice, nor is the information presented necessarily accurate or verifiable.
And we're live.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I hope I hope you're doing well. I want to introduce you to Kwetu Show. It's a brand new show that focuses on, that highlights the lives of Kenyans in the Canadian diaspora. So we'll try to highlight small businesses and how people can find and support them, growing new talents, and just talk about leadership in general. And we are honored to be the first hosts of the show today. My name is Frank, and my friend is...
Oh, I'm Nyerere from the Jamba Hydrated team. And remember, nakumbuka yani kwa wenye mnaelewa Kiswahili, kwa show unaweza tupigia simu kwa namba iko hapo kwa screen 416-900-5864. Pia unaweza tu Skype hapo hivi Tom's Radio. Hapa hivi kwa Kwetu, let's talk our talk, manze.
Let's talk our talk.
Yeah, and today, manze, tuko blessed to have a guest hapa hivi, Mr. Ben Ondoro. Mr. Ben.
Yes.
Take it away. Tuambie wewe ni nani kwa wenye hawakujui kabisa. Yeah.
Good evening to you, and many thanks to Kwetu. Delighted, and of course we have to thank our listeners and viewers. Very delighted to be here tonight and ready to engage. For those who do not know me, I am Ben Ondoro, the former president of the Kenyan community in Ontario. I served there for 4 terms.
Yeah. So I think I'll just jump in with the questions. What do you think is having been a leader for 4 terms, I think you have a sense of the importance of leadership in the community. What does that entail for you? Why is it important for the Kenyan community here in Canada to be organized under something like KCO?
Well, I think we can go back to when we started KCO back in 2001. And the intention was to provide services that would cater for the growing needs of our community, especially within the province of Ontario. So when it comes to community leadership, I think there's a need for more of community members to just step up, take specific roles, and not only as a matter of giving back to the community, but also making it possible for our community to be, one thing, visible in this land that we have inhabited and now called home. And then 2, to allow for our community to have a broader say, leading to discussions or decision making on some of the affairs in this country. For example, we've got immigration matters. We want to have a say in that, right? We've got things like political views in this country. Us as a community, as Kenyans who are here, need to have a say in that. We've got issues around human rights, whether it's activism or just getting involved. We need to have a say in that. There are environmental issues that you guys all know about. We need to be part of that as well. And then, of course, our kids are growing in this country. So we need to oversee the education system as well. And then we've got Kenyans who are starting their businesses. So when it comes to accessing loans, we need to oversee that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then another point that I see also is our community members or leadership leading to our contribution towards economic development, as well as making Canada a better place and a safe place for immigrants to live in. So when I'm talking about that, we are talking things to do with empowerment, to start, say, a business as an immigrant. We are talking high-level education standard that leads to high-paying professional jobs. We need to empower our people to get engaged and be in these areas. And then lastly, I would talk about spiritual matters. Those of us who actually came from Kenya as adults know very well that Kenyans are religious. So be it you're a Christian, a Muslim, you're a Buddhist, or a traditional African religious person. Mm-hmm. So we need that spirituality also to spread amongst our community members.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ben. Actually, kuna wengi hawajui, how did it happen? Like, how did it happen? How did you bring up this group of people? Mkasema, this is the community that we are forming and this is the leadership. How did it happen? Kabisa hadi happen. We have KCO.
Yeah, sasa ukienda back to the 90s or early 2000 there, Kenyan community in Ontario was very small. So basically, it does no matter what tribe you come from, you're a Kenyan. So that way we are just a small family that started within the GTA. So basically, we had to come together to support one another and help each other, climb the ropes within this country. Yeah. So that was one of the reasons we decided, you know what, we are helping each other. We're a small community. We need to have that togetherness so we can build ourselves and find our ways in this country that, at the time, we were very new, very green here back in 2001.
Oh.
2001.
Yeah, 2001. Alafu,
I remember those days. Those days we used to have, just small things like, get-togethers around Christmas. It would be at my house or Charles Mayenga's house or Leonard Rendili's house. Other prominent community members within the GTA. We get together, we drink, we cook our meals, we eat together, and that's what used to bring us together. From there, that's where the talk of creating a larger community organization started.
Yeah, so that was like Toronto GTA, right?
Yes.
Oh, how did you involve like people from the rest of Ontario? Waliingia aje KCO?
So, vile waliingia, we started small within GTA. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I remember back when Charles Mayenga was the president of the Kenyan community in Ontario, we came up with there was a strategic initiative. On that strategic plan, we collected views from the general membership. And then after collecting views from the general membership, they came up with points, areas that needed to be addressed. And one of them was an outreach program. So based on that initiative, on the outreach program, we had to go out to places like in London, Ontario, outside the GT and reach out so we can recruit more members into KCO and cater for their needs as well. So that came from out of that initiative of the membership drive.
Mr. Ondoro, is KCO recognized by the Canadian government?
Of course, yes. KCO is a non-for-profit organization.
Okay.
That is recognized by the government of Canada for sure, yes.
Okay. Another question I wanted to ask. Can you highlight just a general overview of any programs that were very successful while you were still running KCO?
Yes. So when we were in KCO, first of all, we had a very strong relationship with the Kenyan High Commission in Ottawa. Because we realized that, as much as we are caring for the needs of Kenyans here in Canada, we still needed that government wing in Ottawa, so both of us can work collaboratively for service delivery. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that we did in terms of helping our community members, we had an office at 1992 Yonge Street, and this was an office whereby new immigrants to Canada would come to the office and we'll help them integrate with the Canadian way of life, would help them with job searches, would help them with housing. You know, you're looking for a house, you need to know what area to live in, or you're looking for a school for your kids, we do that. Mm-hmm. We had a KCO Women's Forum that was run by a separate leadership within KCO, the women. Yeah. And on Mother's Day, we will organize like a big fundraiser where we come together as a family, we eat and raise money, and the money goes towards scholarship for the Kenyan children who are going to school here. That was very, very, very successful. I remember our partnership also with the Canadian Red Cross, whereby we would raise money as a third party. We'll have like a third party fundraising event. We raise money and it goes direct to affected people in Kenya. For example, during the drought event, we'll have money and we raise, it goes direct there. So those were very successful kind of things that we had. We promoted the rich Kenyan heritage for sure. In terms of Karasoga was one of them, where we showcased the rich Kenyan heritage by way of traditional dances. It would be whether we are dancing to Manambere music or Mugithi, and we have our traditional Kenyan attires, you know, the Maasai ones that we put on, and we promote our rich Kenyan heritage. Those were good things that we are doing in this country, promoting our heritage. And of course, taking care of the needs of other Kenyans who are new in this country.
Right. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Ben. Napenda sana hapo how KCO ilikuwa inashughulikia na inajali Wakenya ambao wanakuja na pia take care of welfare ya Wakenya already wakiwa hapa through all those activities, na pia manze kushowcase our rich culture. Manze kama uko nyumbani hivi unatuangalia, kumbuka unaweza piga simu at 416-900-5864. Pia manze unaweza tu Skype hapo hivi at Tom's Radio. Bado tuko hapa na our guest Mr. Ben Ondoro, the former KCO chairperson. Acha DJ atuchangamshe hivi na kangoma kamoja alafu tunarudi.
We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, manze.
Our company is committed to providing truthful, honest, competent, and result-oriented service through advising and representing our clients in Canada and overseas in a wide range of immigration matters. We focus on providing support, building dependable relationships, and promoting success. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf.
back to the show. Welcome back to the Kwetu Show, where we talk our talk. Na leo hii ndio the first episode, na sisi ndio mahost wenu Nyerere na Frank from Jamba Hydrated Team.
Sisi ndio
na tuko na our guest Mr. Ben Ondoro, the former KCO chairperson. Mr. Ben.
Yes.
Yeah, manze. So umetuambia you served as the president for four terms. Yeah, so
That's correct.
Yeah, unaweza tuambia whether KCO had a constitution, alafu mnaweza tuambia how elections zilikuwa zinafanyika aje, mambo na terms, constitution ilikuwa ina define nini haikuwa ina define, nani waliunda hii constitution, na ni kitu tunaweza edit.
Sure. Yeah. KCO has a very strong constitution. And, you cannot register an organization in Canada without a constitution. You have to have a constitution to register it, right? When it comes to these community organizations. So we had a very strong strong constitution. And I think I have it right in front of me here. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what it says, maybe I should read some part of it here that talks about our organization.
Mm-hmm.
KCO is an Ontario-based non-for-profit, non-political, non-religious organization committed to promoting community development, settlement, adjustment programs, as well as serving the rich cultural heritage of members in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what the article Permeable says about our constitution, why it was started. So yes, we had a constitution, very strong, it's registered, and it served us well.
Oh, okay. In terms of the number of terms that someone could stay in the leadership positions, how did it work?
So according to the KCO constitutions, anybody can serve a maximum of 2 terms. Each term is 2 years. So usually we hold elections in December, and then the new term starts in the new year. So you go for 2 terms, you are eligible for another elections. And then after the 4 years, of course, you don't qualify to run. But after somebody else has held the office for maybe 2 years, you can go back if you want to. So that's what happened in my case. I served for 2 terms, which is 4 years. And then I was off when Moinene took over. And then I came back for another 2 terms.
Oh, wow. Lazima hapo ulifanya kazi safi sana hadi Wakenya wakasema lazima turudishe Bwana Ben kwa hii kiti.
And I'm telling you, my friend, now when I'm looking back to those days, we used to do small things, like organizing barbecues, a lot of events that bring Kenyans together, right? Maybe at that time, it didn't mean much to us. But now when I look back now and you're talking about these mental health problems within our community, we are saying yes. So kumbe those events, ilikuwa inasaidia na mental health. Now we didn't know.
Yeah,
right?
Sure, yeah.
With this COVID-19, people staying at home, we are hearing of cases of suicide being there, depression. We never used to be depressed. There were no cases of depression within the Kenyan community here. Never. Nobody committing a suicide. But that's because we're always coming together with these activities, whether it's a barbecue or Jamhuri Day celebration, Madaraka Day, or just organizing events within our own homes and inviting people just to eat and marry.
Yeah, and actually before, najua Franka kuna swali hapa, swali moto. Anangoja kukuuliza, lakini before ulize, how did one qualify to take part in the elections? Like Mkenya tu angekuja apige kura hapo hivi KCO, ama you had to be registered kwa KCO ndio take part in elections?
Yes, of course, that's part of the constitution, right? It does not matter which organization you join, right? You have to be a member of that organization. You have to pay your membership fee, which was $20 a year. And then after you paid your membership fee, you have to be a Kenyan, of course. You have to be a Kenyan. You paid your membership. You've registered. You qualify for elections.
Asante sana.
That was it. Hiyo tu, hakuna kitu ingine.
Sasa hapa Frank anaweza uliza hilo swali lake moto kama pasi.
Sasa mimi nitaendelea. So Mr. Ben, since we came here for school, right, back in 2015, and we've met so many people, young people especially. Now this is especially after we started our own YouTube channel, where we try to tell stories of people who live Kenyans who live in Canada, right? So what our YouTube channel allowed us to do is reach out to people. We were able to connect with so many young people. There's so many young Kenyans here in Canada, right? And these people have so many brilliant ideas, right? So many things that can be actioned into something that kind of brings people even more closer, brings people together. So my question is, did KCO allow for that, for innovation, for fresh ideas from the youth? Did it include them in any way? Sababu watu hapa nje wako na ideas kali sana, and I think personally inasaidia a lot in bringing people together. So maybe if some of these people had a seat on the table, ingekuwa even better. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea. And earlier on, I talked about the KCO strategic plan that we had. Yeah. The youth, the issue of the youth was addressed in that KCO strategic initiative, where, in partnership with the youth within our community, the ideas count, of course. Youth leadership, innovation, ideas, coming up with things whereby they can get the support of the community. It was a big thing for us. It was a big thing for us. And of course, we welcome it. But at this point, I don't feel shy mentioning this. KSU has not been very strong of late, for sure. So a starting point would be to revamp KSU. It becomes strong, and once KSU becomes strong, then the initiatives around empowering the youth and engaging the youth and everything else now falls into place. So right now, if I was to tell you that the youth is going to contribute this or do this within KSU, no, I would be lying to that, because KSU is not as robust, is not as strong, is not as visible as it's supposed to be at this time.
Why is that, Mr. Ben? Bona, why is it not that strong right now?
Right.
Why is it not as strong as it can be?
I think the reason is we were supposed to have election.
Okay. And
that election never happened. Okay. And then just when we were trying to organize ourselves and make sure that KSU is back on his feet, COVID-19 hit us. Yeah. When COVID-19 hit, and then we went into a mute mode. And being on that mute, election has not taken place. So I would say the last 3 years or so, there hasn't been anything that I can say is strong about KSU that can bring community members together. Yeah. So the starting point would be to revamp KSU, make sure there's proper leadership in place. I'm not saying there's no leadership, but there are posts that have not been filled.
So this organization, Mr. Ben, it's very important, right? Yes. one of the guests that we had recently was Solo, right? And some of the things we talked about in the comments on one of the video we posted, someone said that they didn't even know that KCO existed, right? They didn't even know that there was such an organization for Kenyans here in Canada, right? So I think it's very important for even people who are just coming, who are new immigrants. Just it's a way for them to connect to the community here, because it's not usually the easiest thing to find the Kenyan community here, especially if you are going to a school where you are the only Kenyan maybe, or you're just one of the few Kenyans. Finding this larger community is very difficult, and maybe that can be addressed when it's revamped. But I'll let Nyerere ask the next question.
Yeah manze. So mimi pia, to be honest, venye tulikuja hapa from since 2015,
Yeah,
mi sikuwa nimesikia about KCO,
yeah,
but when we opened the YouTube channel tukaanza kuongea, ndio everyone anatuuliza, tunataka kujua about KCO, nyenye ndio kio chetu, tutafutie KCO tujue, like kuna Wakenya wengi wanakuja, tunataka wakuwe part of KCO.
yeah.
So probably unaweza tuambia like how watu walikuwa wanajua aje about KCO wakikuja kwa country?
So when there was that strong leadership in place, and this is starting with the founding president, the late Leonard Wandile, and then of course followed by Dr. Charles Mayenga and myself, we used to have this outreach program. So that made it easier for new people who were in Canada to know about KCO. We would have every year, we had 3 events. We had the Mother's Day fundraising event. We had the Madaraka Day event. We had the summertime, the barbecues that was rotating from, there would be one barbecue in Toronto, another one in Hamilton, another one in Guelph. And then, of course, the scholarship award dinner somewhere around October, November time. And then last but not least, the Jamhuri Day event. So through these events, it was easier for newcomers to Canada, the Kenyans actually, who have come into Ontario, to hear about KCO. But because of late, these events haven't been organized. And then when I talked earlier about the membership drive program. So that membership drive has not been taking place. So a lot of people like you guys who came in 2015 and then maybe after, you haven't heard anything about KCO because nobody's marketing KCO to you guys. But before then, KCO was a household name that it does not matter. Anybody new in Canada would hear about KCO. But right now, it's not there. That's why I'm saying that where we need to start from is to reorganize ourselves and revamp KCO so there is proper, strong leadership in place. And then programs like reaching out and helping newcomers to Canada, we can start doing all that, actually.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ben. Actually, sasa hivi tuko na lots of young people, hata the older generation, wote wako kwa mitandao ya social media.
Yeah.
Siku hizi kuna Wakenya wengi sana pale Instagram, TikTok. Probably it's also one way yenye KCO pia inaweza jimarket huko nje. Watu wajue about KCO through social media kabisa, ma Facebook. Yeah, but at the moment, if the elections didn't happen, who is the current president of KCO, and how can we even reach out to KCO as we talk about how we'll come back stronger?
And so recently, we had a funeral of our founding president, Mr. Leonard Wandile. And, Kenyans of all walks of life came together to give our brother a befitting send-off. And I'm telling you, when we converged there, what was coming from everybody's mouth is, we have to reorganize ourselves. KCO has to be strong again. We have to get KCO back on track. So that is what I'm seeing coming in the next few weeks or few months. And I have hope and have faith that KCO will get back in its feet, and the youth will be given an opportunity, even of leadership. Leadership is not just for old people. Leadership is young people have to take leadership. Old people have to take leadership because of the wisdom that they have. Yes. And it's just a matter of us coming together. Right now, I believe if anybody wants to reach to KCO, it would be to reach out to Judith Apondi, who is the secretary of the Kenyan community in Ontario.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ben. Especially na agree sana na wewe hiyo point umesema, as the older generation wanakuja with the wisdom, with the great ideas, young people pia wanakuja na the energy na hizi ideas pia, so tukiwork pamoja tuna come up with the best ideas. Asante sana manze. Kama uko nyumbani, jua this is the Kwetu Show. Hii ndio the first episode. The Kwetu Show is a show where we talk our talk. Yani ni kuongea about the Kenyan community in the diaspora. Tuna highlight businesses, small businesses in Canada. Tunaongea about talent, kila kitu yani. Na leo ndio tuko hapa. Sisi ndio tuko kama from Jamba Hydrated. Mimi Nyerere na Frank. Yeah. Na kumbuka unaweza tupigia simu at 416-900-5864. Pia unaweza tu Skype. Alafu tunarudi hivi karibuni kuaga our guest hapo, tumwambie goodbye, lakini before that acha DJ huko acheze kama yeye. Aturoge. Maze DJ cheza kama wewe.
Our company is committed to providing truthful, honest, competent, and result-oriented service through advising and representing our clients in Canada and overseas in a wide range of immigration matters. We focus on providing support, building dependable relationships, and promoting success. We are dedicated to understanding what results you want and to helping you understand what actions we can take on your behalf.
Sawa, welcome back to the Kwetu Show, where tuna highlight the stories of Kenyans in the Canadian diaspora. We try to grow talents the best way we know how, na pia tuna support small businesses hapa na pale, right? So we are back with our guest, our very first guest bado, Mr. Ondoro, and my next question itakuwa around leadership, you know, for maybe people who are trying to get into leadership, maybe watu ambao wanawatch show saizi and they maybe aspire to be in KCO's leadership. What are some of the qualities that that KCO looks for in a prospective leader?
We actually have a caller.
Oh, we have a call.
Kuna simu inaingia?
Yeah, there's a
simu
call coming in.
Acha tutahold hiyo swali kiasi.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Okay, go ahead with the question.
Okay. Yeah, can fall salam. So yeah, the question was just about leadership qualities and
about leadership in general.
Yes.
I think that's a great question. Very great. And you remember from the beginning when I started talking, I was talking about the leadership roles, and maybe I should expand on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, when it comes to leadership, it would be for somebody to identify a specific cause and then champion for that cause.
Mm.
But in general, when it comes to leadership, some of the things that come to mind is, say you take a leadership within KCU as a president, a secretary, and when we're doing these things with an aim to move our community forward,
mm-hmm.
so you can offer the needed services. I actually have to commend Ephraim Maura for his resilience and even leadership with the Kenyan-Canadian Association. They have done a lot of good things within the short period of their existence.
Mm-hmm.
So taking up leadership in community organizations is one thing that is important as a way of giving back, but for us to grow as well. We are talking local church leadership that can still be within our community. And we've got quite a number of people there, Kenyan, who have taken that role of church leadership. You're talking Pastor Eunice Magira, Reverend Florence Juma, Archbishop William Kimando, Pastor Jairo, Reverend Mulongo, Reverend Okoto Tura, Sam Kutondo, and others. Mm-hmm. The list is long, but with the growing Kenyan population in Canada, we need more people in this area, because these are where you are talking about spiritual matters, counseling, and support during death, and all those kind of things. You can take that. A third area that you can still come in when it comes to community leadership, we are talking community activists.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. Here I'm seeing only a few people where Dr. Miguna, is championing for Kenyans who are in the diaspora, our right to dual citizenship. I did not lose my citizenship when I became a Canadian or became an American. He's fighting for us, right? Those are things we need to encourage. We are talking people like Flora Terra, who stands for women's rights, children's rights, Maureen Owino, Dr. Pondiu Diambo. They are all there protecting our children in this country, their rights, relationships. They have to be vocal. We have to be vocal. Mm-hmm. Leadership, we are looking at places like school board, right?
Yeah.
And officials. Let us take up leadership in Toronto District School Board, for instance, or Catholic School Board. And so our say, we have a say in the school system in Canada. And this is an area where the late Leonard Wendili really represented the Kenyan community well. I know about Pia Lawyer, who's a Ugandan who's there, and he's been talking about Kenyan teachers and even Kenyans in general. Come, let's join the school boards and then have a say in the education of our children here. And last but not least, still leadership. We are talking local businesses. Mm-hmm. We have to be, you talk about the youth being very innovative and creative in a way. We can start our own businesses here in Canada, for sure. We can follow in the footsteps and support our own. Thomas Zim is somebody I know, a good friend of mine. He started his business way back. And he's been engaged with the community. He helped us even during the time when we had barbecues, driving his truck around and picking up barbecue grills. Foxes, for instance, he's got his printing company. He can do design of things. We support these guys. Riggs, Kevo, Aisha, with the food. Quincy with the restaurants. We support our own people in local businesses. Let's get involved when it comes to community leadership.
That's a good response, Mr. Ben. Another question maybe that I have. So we've had there's smaller organizations within the Kenyan community in Ontario, right? Kuna ya Wakikuyu inaitwa Nyumba, hizi tuliamba na Solo. There's a few. I'm forgetting the name of the other ones. But
right.
Do you see these smaller organizations under KCO as a threat to the main organization, or does it actually reinforce KCO? What do you think?
These organizations are not threats to KCO at all. They have existed for many years in Canada. I remember when I was the president of KCO, I was engaged with the president of Nyumba. I worked in partnership very close with the president of Abengo. I worked very close with the president of Ramogi. The SDA church, the Kisi group with their church there, I attend their church.
Yeah.
So these small organizations are like streams that feed the bigger river. So KSU is the big river, right? And then smaller organizations are just streams that feed it. So really what we need is a partnership. So they are not operating independently. They operate on their own, of course, but we work in partnership with them to serve the broader Kenyan community in Ontario or in Canada in general.
Right.
So they are not a threat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yani Mr. Ben, hapo umesema KCO ni kama Lake Victoria, alafu the small organizations ni River Nyando, ni River Sondu. Asante, nimependa sana. Actually, hapa sasa ni mambo ya pesa. Ningependa tu kujua if KCO ilikuwa inapata ama bado inapata tuseme financial support from the Kenyan High Commission, because all the time tunasomewa budget, there's some budget yenye huwa inaenda to the High Commission kusaidia Kenyans in the diaspora. So sijui kama inakuja through KCO ama how it works. Na pia okay, endelea.
To be honest with you, KSU as an organization has never received money from the Kenyan government. Apart from when we organize an event collaboratively. And the main events that would organize collaboratively with the Kenya High Commission would be a Madaraka Day event or a Jamhuri Day event in Ottawa. Most of the events that we organize within Toronto here, we organize them on our own. And the Kenya High Commission only came to grace the occasion. They never gave us any funding. But going back to money or how KSU used to get money, of course, any organization, you can write a proposal and apply for funding from anywhere so you can run your programs. We usually rely mostly on just writing to places like MoneyGram at the time, Western Union, and they would fund, maybe $1,000, $2,000 towards specific events within KCO.
Oh, thank you so much. Tuko katika dakika za lala salama. Lakini kuna maswali yenye lazima nikuulize before tumalize.
Right.
So nilipatana na jamaa fulani nikiwa matembezi huko Hamilton. Alikuwa analalamika kweli anasema the reason why KCO hatujaenda mbali sana ni because we don't have a social hall ya Wakenya hivi. your opinion on that? Because yeye alikuwa anasema eti ukiangalia other communities kama Croatia nini wako na very strong communities in Canada because wako na social halls yenye wamejenga tu wao wenyewe. So if you have a problem, unaingia kwa hiyo hall, utapata wing ya kama mental health, utapata wing ya immigration, utapata everything yani within that hall. Ni kitu umewahi fikiria kama KCO ama ni kitu chenye KCO inaweza fanya probably in the future? Ndio tu yani kama wewe ni Mkenya ukiwa na anything unajua there is a place to go.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. That was part of the initial KCO strategic plan. It was identified that KCO needed a home. So as one of those baby steps, we had a partnership or some sort of working relationship with the Somalian community, actually Bidianta, which is a Somalian community here in Toronto. And KCO had a functioning office at 1992 Young Street, suite number 201. And that was a place any Kenyan would walk in, whether you need help with looking for a house, looking for a job, your resume writing, or you're looking for mental health issues for sure, because we were working with the Somalian community at the time. But that was part of the baby step for KSU to get a home. But long term was for us to be able to get our own community hall with an office that is there. But as you know, you need numbers. You need numbers. Numbers count in this country for sure. So without numbers, even if you're talking about community hall, it's going to be a tall order. And that's why we need to bring Kenyans together and be united. When you are united and there is a need for that hall, it is easier to appeal to, say, the mayor of Toronto, for example. You can be given a house in Toronto by the city, and you just pay a little bit of money. Or on our strength, we can do fundraising and have money and put a down payment for a mortgage for a hall somewhere. But yeah, we have to organize ourselves and be able to make that a reality. But case you had an office where you could just walk in and get services.
Oh, asante. Sasa hizo numbers tunahitaji. Ndio maana tunataka kuleta jeshi kubwa kabisa ya mavijana na watu wote hapa Ontario, tulete KCO ikuwe strong. Lakini tunaanza na kusapotiana sisi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. So kama bado huja subscribe pale Jamba Hydrated, subscribe Jamba Hydrated tafadhali ukiwa nyumbani, anywhere penye uko. Na kumbuka tuko Kwetu Show hapa hivi na wa guest Mr. Ben Ondoro, na swali la mwisho la leo nitamuuliza since 2001 hadi tuseme hapo before 2015 tuseme KCO ilikuwa very vibrant yani. So unaweza tuambia what you did different, ndio sasa hii jeshi ikikuja tujue chenye mlifanya different na sisi tufanye different, ndio yani tutese kabisa kama KCO kwenda mbele.
Kabisa. But as you all know, my friend, leadership is about love to our community. It's the passion we have of bringing our group, all these people together and serving with no motives behind it. So for me, what I'm seeing right now is we need just good leadership. People who are there because they want to serve, not because they want to build a profile for themselves. They just want to bring people together and move this organization forward. And then when it comes to writing proposals and getting a day on the table that will move this organization forward, it will be possible. And I assure you, this time around, we have to mobilize Kenyans. We have to, because the way we've stayed, everybody has come to a realization that we need KCO. We need KCO more than ever now.
Asante. Hapo
Yeah.
umesema kabisa, we must be heard.
You have a caller.
Oh, we have a caller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, no. I think we have a caller.
Call, okay.
Hello.
Ongea usikike.
Hello.
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 Tell him to go ahead. Mwambie endelee kuongea.
Endelea. Ongea.
Can you hear me?
Yes, tunakusikia.
Yes.
My name is Cyril.
Uh-huh.
My name is Cyril. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Cyril. How are you doing
Good
today?
evening.
Good evening, Mr. Ben.
Good evening to you, Mr. Cyril.
I have one question for you.
Sure.
I have one question for you.
Right. I'm ready.
As the former chairman, how can you help us to get across and reach out to, let's say, Kenyan community, Kenyan High Commission to help us in mobilizing and encouraging more members, new members, to be vibrant in the community? For instance, in events and such stuff.
So my thinking on that one is we need to start by organizing ourselves. You know, the Kenyan High Commission cannot help us with the membership recruitment, so to speak, from the beginning. We need to put a strong KCO leadership in place. Once a strong KCO leadership in place, then an outreach program where now we have the youth and seniors going out full blast and reaching out to the general Kenyan population. We've talked about, the youth, tech savvy when it comes to social media, whether it's through Instagram, Facebook, all these other new technologies. So they can mobilize people through social media. And of course, it does not matter if you are doing the physical reach out, whereby, we are moving, we are going out to Ottawa and meeting with other people there, attending their barbecues, their events, so they can get closer to KCO. So my thinking is, a starting point is having a strong KCO leadership in place, and then implementing part of the original strategic plan that we had for KCO to make it grow. That is the only way we're going to reach out to everybody.
How can people currently, Mr. Ben, become?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, sorry. There's someone on the call.
Oh, I think you can go ahead, Frank.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. My question was, how can people currently become members of KCO? Is it do people have to wait until the reorganization happens, or is there a way right now that people who are interested in it can actually join?
This is my personal opinion, right?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't advise anybody to join right now. I think where we should start from is engaging the leadership, KCO leadership, in some sort of a talk. And then a talk that leads to planning an election. Once we have an election plan that is in place, then we come back to the community members and tell them, you know what, we've talked as maybe those who are in leadership before, or as those who are life members of KCO, or those who are current members of KCO, and the decision is we need to hold an election, and the election is slated for this date. Once we have that date set for elections, then we'll reach out to the general Kenyan community membership and tell them, election is coming. In order for you to participate in the election, you need now to enroll membership. and this is where your money is going. So whoever is going to check that this is the account number, this is this, and there is somebody now who is taking record of people who are enrolling as members.
Yeah.
So right now I would say you hang on a little bit, and then let's have a plan for elections in place, and then people can pay their membership in anticipation for participating on electing a proper leadership for KCO in place.
Yeah.
And it is a high time for sure. It's really, it's taking way too long. We need to have a leadership for KCO and move it forward.
Yeah, I think we've now reached the end of the show today. Asante sana, Mr. Ben, for making the time to speak with us today. I know there's so many people who just wanted clarity about how KCO works, how it used to work, and what they can look forward to. You've mentioned that there's clear plans of where it's going and how people can actually become members in future. So that's been helpful. I think it's been helpful to everyone who's watching us right now. So asante sana kwa kujiunga nasi leo.
Nimeshukuru sana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So Nyerere, sijui kama utafunga.
Yeah, Mr. Ben, sijui kama huko ama ushaenda, lakini juu sisi mahost wako leo tumekuwa the Jamba Hydrated Team, na sisi tuna tell two stories za Wakenya in the diaspora, especially hapa Canada. So unaweza ambia watu tu wa subscribe to Jamba Hydrated na watu follow social media platforms zote.
Absolutely. This is great. I think you guys are doing a great job. This is a perfect way of reaching out to the Kenyan community. And when it comes to engaging, the talk, we want to talk to one another, right? So in terms of talking to one another, this is a good platform. And I commend you guys for the job you're doing.
Asante sana. And we hope to continue with this conversation. Hivi karibuni tutarudi hapa na Mr. Ben na tutaongea about penye KCO itakuwa imefika, yani
new heights.
Yeah, so asante sana na
Asante.
Have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, so that has been the
Kwetu
Kwetu Show, where we talk our talk.
Yeah.
And the aim of the show ni kutell to like stories za Wakenya in the diaspora, showcase my businesses Wakenya, small businesses in the diaspora. Yeah, so hapa ndio tuna tell to our stories from sisi wenyewe. Na hii imekuwa the first episode. Episodes zingine zitakuja kwa wingi.
Itakuwa
moto kama pasi. Hapa Tom's Radio. And sisi tumekuwa mahost wako from the Jamba Hydrated Team, Nyerere, Sylvester and Frank. Adios.
Right. Asante sana.